So Stephen A. Smith is facing a hilarious backlash, a massive backfire from everyone on the internet. He's getting absolutely destroyed over his latest comments. So Stephen A. Smith just told the president of the U.S. to stay home from the NBA Finals of Game 3 of that. And Stephen A. Smith looked straight into the camera and said, and I quote, "It has nothing to do with politics." Not sure why Stephen A. Smith has to bring this up, but Stephen A. Smith did announce it on his podcast, and he has the right to say that. That's his podcast. But Stephen A. Smith also knows that there's consequences for these comments. So June 5th, which is yesterday, days before Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Stephen A. Smith went on air and said this.
He's coming to Game 3 of the Finals, and I don't want him there. He's coming to Game 4 of the NBA Finals, and I don't want him there. And it has nothing to do with politics, policy, or anything like that. It has everything to do with him disrupting and contributing at the same time to the chaos that's going to be existing at Madison Square Garden. If there was ever a time, if it were Barack Obama coming to the Garden, I would say stay home, stay at the White House. If it was George W. or Clinton or somebody, stay at the White House. Don't come. You don't understand what Monday is going to be like in New York City. The subways will never be more packed. Don't drive your cars in Midtown. I'm trying to tell you, it'll be a parking lot. There is nothing short of madness that is coming the way of everybody come Monday. You don't understand. You don't understand. I have been covering sports for over 30 years. And I'm telling you right now, come Monday for Game 3 of the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden, I expect to see an environment I have never seen in my entire career covering sports. You don't understand.
Well, that was the same Stephen A. Smith who also said this here some time ago.
In some of these people, Stephen.
Well, not all of them. Time. No. You don't get to do that. Don't talk to me about mental illness on the side of the right. But you have people talking about transgender without parental consent. And men transitioning to women and playing in women's sports and thinking that was okay, and people could be incarcerated and they could have sex changes and stuff like that. Oh, no. You don't get to sit up there and just point to the right about that and not act like there wasn't craziness on the left too. I'm a moderate who primarily votes Democrat. And I'm here to tell you something right now. I don't recognize this left. Or not this one. Not the one that I've been seeing over the last few years. I'm a moderate who will lean left on everything but dollars, meaning taxes. I can't stand high taxes in California, New York, New Jersey. Okay? I'm a fiscal conservative with my money. I'm liberal with everything else. And I'm still appalled by how far left the left has leaned. It's disgraceful. No common sense. And oh, by the way, when you talk about woke culture and cancel culture, don't come to me with the Republicans. It wasn't the Republicans that was trying to get people fired for pronouncing the wrong pronoun. That's the left. And you're appealing to a community, and in the meanwhile, you're turning your back on black folks who supported you since the 60s. Don't get me started with all of that. I got a lot of problems with Trump. I got a lot of problems with some of the things that I've seen from the Republican side. Most recently and then more immediate is the Affordable Care Act and the fact that they still haven't had a plan. All these damn years you had an opportunity to have a plan. And we still wait for the GOP to have a damn plan. You holding up everything, but you ain't got no damn plan. That's disgraceful. But I'm not going to act like it's just them. Oh, hell no. The left, the extreme left is what I'm talking about, not the moderate left. The extreme left is a damn problem.
Yep, this is the same Stephen A. Smith, ESPN's highest paid on-air personality, a man with 30 years covering sports and also a man who has spent the last several months publicly floating a presidential run in 2028 as a Democrat, who has said on the record that he would never vote for Trump, who was also stated publicly that he believes Trump is, quote, blowing it for Republicans heading into the midterms and stuff. Now, I don't think he's actually going to run. If so, that'll be interesting. But he just told you his objection to the president of the United States attending a basketball game has nothing to do with politics. Now, the New York Knicks, as you all know, are in the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. They've just won Game 2, heading into Game 3 as the dominant winner so far. I mean, from 1999, that's 27 years. The franchise hasn't won a championship game since 1973. Monday night, June 8th, the Knicks host Game 3 at Madison Square Garden, up to nothing in the series against the San Antonio Spurs, and the energy around this city is unlike anything it's felt in this generation. Basically, win or lose, New York City is going to get toe up, okay? So Trump was personally invited to attend by James Dolan, the Knicks owner. The owner. He accepted. Now, when asked about it on Air Force One, he said the answer is yes. He grew up in Queens. He built his career in Manhattan. He's watched the Knicks games at Madison Square Gardens for decades. I mean, he was invited basically to his hometown. And this is also the first time in history that a sitting president of the United States will attend an NBA Finals game, the kind of moment that gets mentioned in every broadcast for the next 20 years. And Stephen A. Smith's response to all of that was just simply stay home. Now, Smith went to great lengths and stuff to make sure that people knew this wasn't political. He even brought up, Barack Obama said if it were Obama coming to the garden, he'd tell him the same thing, stay home. The same weekend that, he told the president to stay home, citing traffic concerns and subway congestion. Another political figure confirmed that he would also be attending Game 3 at Madison Square Garden. Basically, it's the New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani. Yes, one of the most far-left politicians in the entire country. He is going to be at that game along with Hakeem Jeffries from Congress. So Stephen A. Smith has nothing to say about that. I mean, not a word. No warning about subway congestion for Mamdani, no concern about disruption, no stay at home, nothing. Now, if the objection is truly about logistics, if the issue is genuinely the chaos and security footprint and stuff for it and stuff, and the traffic, then it applies equally to every public figure attending that arena. But it only came up when the public figure is the president. Okay, it's just a political argument, basically wearing a logistics costume. Okay, so Smith is a registered independent, he says, but he votes Democrat. Okay, but he supported Kamala Harris in 2024. He said that he would never vote for Trump. He has gone on record saying that he believes Trump is damaging the Republican Party's chances in the 2028 election cycle. And for the last several months, he's been entertaining a presidential run himself as a Democrat in 2028. He's also spoken with governors, mayors, and members of Congress who have asked him seriously to consider it. So this is also the man who told you his objection to Trump at Madison Square Garden has nothing to do with politics. But I mean, it seems to me that, Stephen A. Smith may be, afraid of what 20,000 New Yorkers cheering for the president looks like on national television. I mean, Madison Square Garden is going to be an absolute madhouse on Monday night with or without the president. But whether Stephen A. Smith likes it or not. Now, the energy is already at historic levels. If the president walks into that building and gets a roaring reception from a New York crowd on ABC in prime time during the NBA Finals, that image travels and Stephen A. Smith would have to talk about that. And that moment becomes a symbol for someone like Stephen A. Smith, positioning himself as a future Democratic candidate. The last thing Stephen A. Smith needs for a country to see New York embracing a man he says is literally destroying everything that is the calculation, okay? So basically everyone online is destroying him for his comments right here. One person even says here, when did Stephen A. Smith, purchase the New York Knicks? Congrats, basically. So they're basically going up against him, just straight hounding him and on posts on social media and stuff. It's definitely not surprising either. Okay. And the fact of the matter is that everyone is letting him have it, basically. Okay. Even here in this post on X for the New York Post and stuff, got people saying, "Good to know you. Where's Stephen A. Smith?" Okay, Trump says Trump never listens to anybody. Why would he listen to Stephen A. Smith? Donald Trump is the most pro sports president that we've ever had in the White House. And somebody else says that just let the thoughts know about Smith right here in this post here, what he could do to himself. But yeah, it's like people are just absolutely destroying Stephen A. Smith in their comments and stuff. Okay. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the button right now. This channel covers the story underneath the story on a lot of topics. But while Stephen A. Smith was asking Trump to stay home, the people who actually run the NBA and actually play in the series had a very different message. The NBA commissioner himself says that, we're seeing that in New York, and I think President Trump is very much a New Yorker, and I'm thrilled that another New Yorker wants to participate in the enthusiasm and joy around this next team. Thrilled that the commissioner of the NBA is thrilled that, the president is coming. Adam Silver, who runs the organization whose teams have openly clashed with Trump for years, whose players have been among the most politically outspoken in all of professional sports, LeBron, I'm talking about, is thrilled. So he did not call a press conference about subway congestion. He just simply welcomed the president. But the Knicks center, Mitchell Robinson, is on the court Monday night. He is, the one who will actually be inside Madison Square Garden when the president walks in. So when a clip went viral suggesting Robinson would play extra hard with the president in the building, and Robinson responded with 4 words and an American flag emoji. "You ain't lying, brother." Okay, so that's what he said. Now the team owner invited Trump and stuff, and the commissioner welcomed him. A Knicks player is fired up to, compete in front of him. And one sports commentator who was considering running for president against the Republican Party told him not to come. I mean, like I said earlier, Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, went on CNN to complain about Trump ruining the moment, where he said, "Why does Donald Trump always have to ruin a good thing?" Now, Jeffries was not at the game. He was not in New York. He was, in D.C. and stuff. He went on television to complain about the man he despises attending a sporting event that he won't be at, okay? So this is the pattern. Every time there's an organic, joyful, nationally televised moment that puts, the president in any positive light, a crowd cheering, a team, welcoming a city, celebrating, the same voices appear to warn everyone to keep the politics out of it by injecting politics into it. You see, Stephen A. Smith can cover Trump's attendance. He can analyze what the security footprint means for the crowd experience, okay? And that is legitimate sports commentary. Now, the moment he says, I don't want him there, he's a participant with an agenda, basically. The respectful thing is to own it, okay? Say, I don't want Trump to get a positive reception at MSG because I think it's, bad for the country. I mean, that's at least a real position. Disagree with all you want, but it's honest. But what you cannot do is tell the president to stay home and then say that it has nothing to do with politics. That insults the intelligence of every person watching. All right, so Monday night, the president will walk into Madison Square Garden. The building will be electric. Pretty sure he's going to be in the booths up at the top and stuff. So this is the first Knicks finals home game since 1999. The president will be in the city rooting for the team, sitting next to the owner, maybe, who invited him. The commissioner who runs the league is thrilled. Knicks players fired up. 20,000 fans will be inside, and Trump attending this game does not make it about, Trump himself, okay? But it's a part of New York. He has been a part of New York for 50 years. He's always has as much a part of the city's fabric as MSG itself. So basically, Stephen A. Smith is not just a sports commentator weighing in on the event, but he's also a man who's told governors and mayors and members of Congress that he's considering running for president. But he is, building a brand, as you all know, cultivating an image, and that image requires him to be seen as someone who stands against Trump, basically. Okay? So, yeah, this moment in that viral clip where he says, I don't want him there from Stephen A. Smith is a calculated move that is opening it's the opening chapter for a political career for Stephen A. Smith. And it seems like Stephen A. Smith is not a journalist anymore, or at least a sports journalist, but a candidate in waiting. And the sooner people process that, the clearer everything Stephen A. Smith says about this administration becomes. Okay, so let me know in the comments below. Do you think Stephen A. Smith's objection was really about subway traffic, or was it about something else? And I'll see you on the next one.